Welcome to the forecast for December 1st until 7th. My name is Desiree de Lunae, your acupuncturist, herbalist, and astrologer, and we are going to talk about our full moon this week, as well as some tense squares we have from Mars. Now, I am traveling due to holidays, so my background and camera and everything's a little bit different, so please bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quick with you. And while I do so, if you can like and subscribe and hit that bell so that you're notified every time a new video is available for you. All right, so we are going to start with Monday. Oops, I need to make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so we are fully in the swing of Sagittarius. Actually, we had a pretty big event today, is that, if you're listening on Monday, is that we have Venus over here, which is the planet of art and beauty, but it also represents our desires too, as well as our sense of self-worth, our finances, our relationships. It's got a lot of indicators, but it is changing into a whole new sign. It is moving into the sign of Sagittarius as of today. And that now means we have a stellium here in Sagittarius. So Sagittarius part of our chart. So take a look at your natal chart. What house is this over? This is an area that is getting tremendous amount of focus and attention and energy. And the sun in Sagittarius, this is a season of exploring. This is a season of really opening our minds. And we're going to see that theme happening throughout the week over and over again. But it's time to shift our perspective. It's time to gather new energies, new data, new information, to adjust our perception of things and adjust our worldview. And so here with Venus coming into this mixture where the sun and Mars already is, I mean, Mars is also represents our desires too, and our actions and our passion. You throw Venus here with Mars and the sun. Now that is very important for us. Like, we are seeking truth. We are seeking something real. We are seeking something beyond what we have known up to this point. So if you've got that spirit of curiosity just like running through your veins, and you're wanting to explore and you're wanting to travel and you're wanting to learn something new, that's why. It's because all of these planets are activating that within us. Now, we do have this opposition here still. It is not exact as it was a couple days ago, but it's still quite present. And that means Uranus, which is the change maker, right? It's the liberator. It's the breakthrough planet. This is breaking through to us. Like, we are starting to give so much more respect to ourselves. This is really expanding our sense of self-worth, okay, self-respect. And it's also liberating and freeing our desires and our passions. And in a way, we're allowing us permission to go into things that, we haven't even touched or we haven't explored yet. So if you're finding yourself just like into new things all of a sudden, then that's why. It's all of this Sagittarius energy here, plus Uranus really like breaking us open and allowing us to be free and allowing us to really roam and experience and explore things again that we haven't done before. And to add to all of this fire energy, because this is fire energy, right? And Mars is a fiery planet in a fiery sign. Let's just throw some moon in Aries to the mix, which is intensely fiery. I mean, this is about initiation. Aries likes to start things. This is the ignition point. Like, this is when we start a fire, then we go ahead and light a match. That powerful like flare that happens, that's an Aries type of fire. So here, there's tons of energy. We've got lots of energy. We have a lot of excitement. We're really thrilled to embark upon the unknown. So here, we're going to take more risks. We're going to be more bold about things and not so hesitant. You're probably not going to feel much hesitation on Monday. This is the time to kickstart something new. So maybe there's a creative personal project you want to get going on. Maybe it's time to take a big risk on something. But what's really great is that you're going to, with this grand water trine we're going to be talking about, your risks are going to be more calculated and aligned and very intelligent. Like you're connected to your intuition. You're connected more to your body over the course of this week and really understanding what is right and true for you. So very cool. I do recommend some physical movement too. You're probably going to have a lot of excess yang energy. So getting your body moving will be very helpful. Now on Tuesday, we have the moon making a major shift. You know, the moon stays in a sign for every 2 to 3 days, and that really impacts our emotional experience and even our physical vitality. So when we have moon in Taurus, it's actually an exalted position. This is the most extraordinary position for the moon. And here the moon can really take rest. In Taurus, it is about embodiment. It is about integration. It is about really connecting into your body through your 5 senses. So, you know, really stimulating your sense of smell, taste, you know, sound, touch, feel, all of that. Sight, colors, vibrant colors. You really want to be in environments or create situations where you're really feeling all of your senses, meaning like, okay, put on some candles and diffuse some essential oils. Maybe have your partner give you a massage, right? Wear like really comfortable clothing where it feels luxurious and soft and comfortable and silky smooth. You know, that's where you're going with this. Go do things that just, again, like I said, getting a massage or going into a float tank, something where you are connected more to the sensations of your body. But this could be things like yoga as well. So here with moon in Taurus, it is also very in tune. Here, intuition is very strong. And with all of this Sagittarius energy, this fiery inspiration and ignition and excitement and passion, like you're also able to kind of slow it down and bring it into your body and really embody these new, you know, passions and desires and curiosities. So I love the calming and the integrating and the slowness that the moon in Taurus bring. Okay, so on Wednesday, we have moon that is still in Taurus, which is great, but but it is connected to Uranus. Do you see how close this is? Uranus, I will say it's not in its like best position in Taurus. And that's one of the reasons why the past like 7 years, it's been a little difficult, you know, financially, or even when it comes to your sense of self-worth. It's been trying. But Uranus is a change maker. It's a disruptor, and it brings the sudden unexpected news, sudden unexpected events, circumstances. It can also create a lot of liberation and freedom. And when we see moon like cozying up to Uranus, often I notice a need to just break free, a need to be very independent. And so this could also be like a breakthrough in your own emotional healing, or this can also be very stimulating, like this revelatory moment where you all of a sudden have this powerful insight that just comes out of nowhere and like hits you upside the head. That is a Uranian type of moment. Now, to throw Mercury into the mix, you'll notice that moon is opposite Mercury in Scorpio, so 180 degrees. So these are in a hard aspect. So they're facing off. It does cause some conflict and tension. And so here, like the moon in Taurus really wants to chill. It wants to relax. It really wants to enjoy life. But between Uranus and Mercury, like yelling at it, it is going to be a little bit difficult. You know, it's like there's family fighting in the home during the holidays, okay, when you're trying to just chill and calm down. So here, there is a call for just a lot of real talk conversations, a lot of like digging in, because Mercury in Scorpio is very obsessive, it's intense, it's extreme. And so the conversations and the mental stimulation along with Uranus, it's just, this is not a chill and relax moment. So whoever you're interacting with, there's going to be a lot of new things that are surfacing, and maybe hidden truths or hidden like thoughts and feelings from others or yourself just breaking open and having to come to light. And so if you feel like, just even within yourself, just a little restlessness and inner conflict between your feelings and how you're thinking about your feelings, that is completely normal. But one of the antidotes is really look to where the moon is placed, and moon's in Taurus. And that's why I'm saying, like, do things that move your body, that are stimulating your senses. That's going to help to dissipate all of this excess energy, because Mercury in Scorpio and Uranus in Taurus are a lot to deal with, are a lot to handle, and and the moon just is going to have a hard time chilling out. Okay, so there's that. Now on Thursday, this is our full moon day. All right, we have a full moon here in Gemini. It's happening at around 6:14 Eastern time, and it's at 13 degrees. Okay, you'll see 13 degrees. 3 minutes of sun, and then 13 degrees, 3 minutes of the moon. So full moon obviously is full illumination. And when we look at this full moon, there are other planets that are a part of it. The sun is here at 13 degrees, but it's also, there's this descendant, please ignore these black ones. But if you take a look at the degree markers, right, we've got Mars that is about 9 degrees away from the sun. So Mars is 9 degrees away. And then we also have 8 degrees away from Venus. So sun and Venus are only 8 degrees, because Venus is at 5 and sun is at 13. Again, just ignore these black ones here. And that would mean, so for most astrologers may consider a 10-degree a conjunction, and a conjunction is when two planets are essentially like fused together. So part of this whole full moon includes not only obviously the sun, because that's what makes it a full moon, but it includes Mars and Venus in Sagittarius. Now, when we look at this whole Gemini Sagittarius axis, this does have a lot to do with our perspective of life, of what we're curious about. There needs to be mental like stimulation. Here in Gemini, it needs to be logical. It's got to make sense as well. And with all of this change in Sagittarius, and all of these shining on the moon, basically, we're here to expand our perspective. And we had this discussion earlier when we were talking about all of the planets in Sagittarius, but really we have to think different. We have to look at our life situation different. And that's what this full moon is calling us to do. And, for example, like right now, the economy is difficult, and there are a tremendous amount of job losses. And one perspective could be, wow, it's doomsday. Like, it's literally the end of the world. It's a collapse. And I would say it is a collapse, but it is, the country's dying, like in the United States. and another way to look at this is, it's an extreme purge. Like, it's a purification process. It's releasing and letting go of an old world. And that way we have now space and room for a new world to emerge and erect. So one just feels like utter loss and death, and then it stops there. And then another perspective is, wow, we're looking forward to something better. We're looking forward to creating a different life experience as humans on this earth. So these are two different perspectives, two different frame of mind. And one could feel very hopeless and feeling, very defeated, whereas the other one feels enlivening and exciting and feels powerful. Like, oh, that person can participate in the creation design of this new structure that we want to live by. Things are clear. They haven't been healthy. Okay. The world hasn't been healthy for a long time. So that might be good to destroy that model so that we are now incorporating a new, healthier model, and we are living within that model. So this is what Sagittarius, Gemini axis in this full moon, in my opinion, has a lot to do is like, okay, we need to really rethink things. We need to rethink and relook at things and have a different perspective and different meaning that we attach. And with all this attention on Sagittarius, like to me, Sagittarius is the meaning of life. So what is the meanings that we attach to life situations and life circumstances? So it's a very mental type of full moon. It can be very reflective. So another thing to look at is, where is Gemini in your chart? I asked earlier about Sagittarius, what house is Gemini over? Because that is also the area of life in question. It's time to kind of rethink. Like, I'll just give an example. In my situation, I have Sagittarius on my fourth, it's actually down here, fourth house, and then I have Gemini in my 10th house. And that fourth, 10th house axis, fourth is home, 10th is career. So there's going to add to what I was saying, there's a lot of reflection around what is home and what is work. I work from home, so maybe there might be some reframing, restructuring on that as well. Anyways, that's just an example. But interesting full moon. And Sagittarius is really popping off here, okay? So like I said, just keep an eye on what houses, what axis is your Gemini Sagittarius, and that adds that extra layer of meaning to all the things that I've just shared. Okay, now let's go to Friday. And on Friday, we have moon that is pretty much opposite Mars directly. It's going to start in the morning. It'll dissipate by the afternoon, but moon is opposite Mars. And Mars, it can be irritated. And so when we have this opposition, this red line, a hard aspect, now we can have some irritability, some frustration, some annoyance. So that's completely normal. And I also, let me see if I should talk about this. Yes, we have a Mars square Saturn. So Mars is giving us a little bit of a headache, okay, from this day on until the rest of the weekend. Now, Saturn causes delays, obstacles, challenges, slows things down. It's almost like when we have a square between Mars and Saturn, it's almost like the car's been going, Mars is going and going, and Saturn comes in and just slams on the brakes. But there is it's almost like pressing on the gas and the brakes at the same time. And you want to get somewhere, but you can't because Saturn slows us down. It slows us down. And that might be annoying, and it might feel like you're kind of like, I have all this energy and all this power, I want to go, but I just can't. Like something's like holding you back. Something's tying you down, and you're just trying to do it. And it feels like you're going through molasses. That is a Mars Saturn square. And then we have this irritation and frustration with our emotions to add to that. So Mars, like I said, is a little bit of a headache. And with Mars, this will eventually pass, but we're going to feel it for a little bit, and be patient. There are reasons why these types of aspects come about. They're checks and balances. Like if you think about how much fiery Sagittarius energy there is, sometimes Sagittarius, it can just go without really going through the details and not being thorough and well planned. It's just got a lot of heart and a lot of fire and a lot of passion, but the logical, practical side gets ignored with Sagittarius sometimes. Like I just believe. And belief is amazing, right? We love that trust, that faith, that belief. But sometimes that's not enough. We also need to be realistic. And so what is Saturn? It is the ultimate realist. And so Saturn here is like, hey, wait a second. Before you go do something stupid, okay? Before you go and be reckless, and even like ruin the chances and possibility of this new vision, this dream, this thing that you believe in. Like, we need to make sure our ducks are in a row. We need to make sure that we are practical here, and a bit grounded. And that's why there is the break of Saturn here. So it will slow us down so that we're not just implosive and we're explosive and impulsive. That's what I mean. We're not impulsive and explosive. And we also have our, wits about us as we're moving through things, and we're not just being reckless. And that's what Saturn is helping us to avoid, is being reckless. Now, I will also say that there is a grand water trine. We've had grand water trines for a bit, but it's been, cycling through different planets right here. We've had a grand water trine with Mars when Mars was in this region, when Sun was in this region, and also when Venus was here. And these planets have now moved on to Sagittarius. But what do we got now? We have Mercury, and it's not in retrograde, thank you, but we have Mercury in this grand water trine. Do you see this big blue triangle right here in the middle? This includes the planets of Jupiter and Saturn and Mercury. And these grand water trines have been such a saving grace for some of the more challenging aspects that we deal with, because it's there, it's in the background, it's working in conjunction with all of this other stuff. And when we see a water trine, water has to do with intuition, with creativity, with emotional intelligence. So talk about like always tuning into what's right and true for us, right? I feel like this is kind of our check, like make sure we're going on the right path for us, that feels good to us, that's right for us. And so when we have Mercury and Jupiter and Saturn as part of this entire grand water trine, Mercury is about being very truthful in Scorpio, being truthful and honest. And, your intuition here is very, very sharp. Your understanding of things are way sharp here. And then you've got Jupiter in Cancer that brings that emotional wisdom and growth and expansion and cultivation. Like Jupiter in Cancer knows how to grow things. It knows how to cultivate things. And then Saturn in Pisces, like this is about spiritual maturity. This is about spiritual integrity. This is wisdom. This is practicality. And this is really just grounding things in. Pisces even also can be very fluid and maybe even a little bit scattered and disjointed. But with Saturn being there, it's really taking all of these dreams and these visions and these emotions and finding a way to funnel it into this world, okay, to bring it down to this realm onto Earth. So all these are working together in such a harmonious way to support us in our new adventures, okay, in our new dreams and visions. All right, so that's Friday. Now on Saturday, moon changes signs. Now we are out of this like very airy mental area of Gemini, and now we are in a yin sign, which is a water sign. Moon rules Cancer. It's at home. So here we are connected to ourselves. We're connected more to our body as well, to our feelings. Here is about nurturing, taking care of ourselves, be taking care of the family. There's going to be more of a focus of going inwards in the home, and also connecting and tending to our family too. But here, this is only going to accelerate, the voice of your intuition. And this water trine that I just talked about, it's even stronger because it was 23 degrees on Saturday, but now it's 24 degrees here. It's exactly the 24 degrees Jupiter, this trine, and then 25 Saturn. So that whole grand water trine I discussed, it's even more potent today. And then moon is in a very good condition, being here. It's not fighting with any other planets. It's just happy, suspended here in Cancer. So this will be a nice relief from some of the tension that we've had between moon and Mars and all of that. But we still do have that break, like the gas and the brake situation going on between Mars and Saturn. So understand, like I said, that influence is going to be around for some days, but at least this moon in Cancer allows us to just kind of have a sigh of relief. And it's cool with slowing down here. It's cool with chilling and relaxing here. So I think you'll handle the Mars square Saturn a lot better. Now on Sunday, we have this water trine also still very tight. I mean, look how big, bold blue color it is. But here the moon is now part of this part of this grand water trine. It is also right next to Jupiter. Moon likes to be next to Jupiter. Jupiter's very optimistic. Well, especially because Jupiter's in Cancer, and Jupiter is excellent in Cancer. And so here there's going to be a lot more optimism and hope and possibility. And even with this like Mars square Saturn, which it's getting tighter. I believe the next day it's going to be even tighter. But even though there is this little breaking and slowing down and maybe some obstacles and challenges we're coming up against in our process, this here, it's just what it needs to be. It's not fighting it. It's not arguing. It's just surrendered. It's accepting, and it's asking more the questions like, what am I missing? What do I need to see? As we're slowing down, what do I need to learn and understand? How can this be helpful to me? And you're just going to feel more hopeful and positive and optimistic about this whole process and how it's going and how it's unpacking and how things are developing. And so, like I said, this moon is part of this beautiful grand water trine. So you are really feeling it in your body. All the stuff that Jupiter, Mercury, and Saturn have been going through, you're really going to embody it. This is that opportunity. This is a growth moment. This is where all of the things that the grand water trine has been working on and showing you and revealing you, it's not just going to be ideas in your head. You're going to become them. You are going to walk in them, and you're going to really learn these lessons or learn this new insight, and it's going to be in all of your cells. You're going to be walking in that wisdom. So you're going to understand things on a much deeper level, rather than it just being intellectual. So I would say this is a very, very present day. This is a very intuitive day. Like you know things. And you get things. So if you already are very sensitive, you're probably going to be extra sensitive and extra like being able to see into things in your conversations with people. You're going to be able to connect into what is unspoken very easily, and you're going to be able to bring that truth to light. And it's just a supportive grand water trine. It's very encouraging, and it's very nourishing. It's uplifting. So enjoy this. You're going to take yourself to a whole new level here with this moon as part of this grand water trine. Okay, so thank you so much. That is our forecast for the week, and we will be back next week. I enjoyed hanging out with you, and sorry if my sound and camera is not the usual that I do, but I hope that this is valuable for you. Enjoy the full moon, and do share below what axis, like what houses are over your Gemini and Sagittarius, and keep that in mind as this full moon comes around the corner.